Hey guys, Hirons here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Inferno Automobili Inferno at Golden Max in a regular multiplayer season. As I do not own this car, these races were given to me by Asphalt 89. We might also have something else in the works coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check out my Hirons Clips channel and my Purple Team Discord. The links to those will be in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. The Inferno is one of those cars that I do not think a whole lot of people actually managed to get, certainly not at Golden Max. I made one Golden Max test of this car previously, but it was only in the Inferno season, I think, or some Max Free Try season where you couldn't go up against very many cars at all, and so this one is in the regular multiplayer season, so you can see how it does in a standard situation. You probably remember back in my updated best and worst cars in each class list video, I put this car in C tier for events and in B tier for multiplayer. Now, one thing to note is that on that list, being in a lower tier does not at all mean it is a bad car, just relatively it does not do as well compared to the cars above it. So I want you to know that the Inferno is a very good multiplayer car. It is very well rounded all around. Its nitro efficiency is pretty good. Its top speed is around 270, about the same as the Mazzanti and the Fenner and the Zenvo. The drifting is pretty good, and so is the acceleration. I can't really think of a specific stat or anything about this car that is just definitely worse and its biggest disadvantage. Just a very well-rounded and I would say pleasant to drive car overall. It can also do floaty drifting and punch drifting, which is definitely a bonus for the high-end S-Class cars. People have been asking me when I'm going to be making a video about floaty drifting and punch drifting, because I have said previously that I'm going to, as an addition to my currently most viewed video on my channel, how to go fast in Asphalt 9, and I'm not going to make a whole new one just because everything in that video is still technically up to date. There's just been these couple of other new developments since then. So I'm going to do it once I feel comfortable being able to explain it in a way that, number one, is accurate and actually helps you go faster in Asphalt 9, and when I'm able to explain it in a way that would make sense to the majority of players, because I want to use all of my own footage in that video. I could easily take some other people's footage and put them all together and just explain what's going on, but I don't want to do that. I want to improve my own skills too in my research for this video. Now, I've definitely had several people that have helped me with it, and I will definitely mention them in the video as they have been big helps, but I want to make the video itself fully my own, as I did with the How to Go Fast in Asphalt 9 video. You may have noticed on Shanghai in my recent Bugatti Veyron Max test video, I did 3 floaty drifts at the turns where it is important to do those to maintain the best speed, and I was able to do them decently, I would say, in that race. Now, I did take many attempts to be able to get that lap that I did, but I was quite satisfied with the outcome. Now, in that last race, Asphalt 89 beat 2 Hirons as well as a Jesko, but lost to an Asphalt Owl. The Asphalt Owl is one of those really weird S-Class cars that is not well-rounded at all, has some stats that are way better than others, and therefore is, I would say, definitely more difficult to drive, but very rewarding if you can drive it well. And as of now, I only have one Golden Max test in a Max Free Try multiplayer season of that car on my channel. I believe Asphalt 89 said that he was going to record some races in that car for me as well, so hopefully you can look forward to seeing that soon on the channel too. And speaking of Asphalt Owls, in this race, Asphalt 89 is facing 2 of them, as well as 2 Bugatti Chirons, and some other cars which are definitely slower. See, this is the thing, even the mid-tier S-Class cars are going to be way better in multiplayer than almost every one of the A-Class cars, because the A-Class cars are honestly not really much faster, if at all, in a lot of cases, than the B-Class cars, and the S-Class cars are just so much faster other than the first few in the class. And so I've always felt that there was this giant leap in performance between A-Class cars and S-Class cars, at least in terms of the top speed, that I'm not really sure why Gameloft did, because it seems like you would have a steady increase in top speed from D to C to B to A to S. It goes fine from D to C to B, and then A is like same speed as B, and then S is like way higher speed than both of them. I don't know. That is just a complete nitpick on my part, but I thought it was kind of funny. Something a lot of people have been asking me recently is, should I go for the Lamborghini SC20? And I would say in a lot of cases the answer is probably yes. Judging by its stats and how it drives in its Grand Prix, I can definitely say that it is going to be one of the best cars in Class A. I said in my Max Stats video about it, as well as the other cars in Heatwave Season Update, that it probably was not going to be the king of the class. Like the Imola and the Valhalla still looked a little bit better in terms of stats, but it would probably be one of the best ones if you don't have those cars. Like it's probably going to be better than the Genti, for example. So I would say, and this is what I've told several people already, is that if you do not have the Imola or Valhalla, the Lamborghini SC20 is probably going to be a great car to go for and try to star up. Now, in my case, I'm going to try its Grand Prix, obviously, but I already have the Valhalla at 4 stars, which is going to be better than whatever stars I was going to be able to get the SC20 at, so I might try to unlock it, but I'm not going to be spending many tokens on it. I would 2-star it at maximum. In this next race on Nevada, which turned out to be quite close, Asphalt 89 is facing 2 Bugatti Chirons primarily. The Chiron is obviously a better car than the Inferno. It's got better acceleration, it's got better top speed, and its drifting is really good too, so yeah. But the Inferno does hold up surprisingly well against them, largely due to the fact that the Bugatti Chiron cannot get actually up to its high top speed all that often, especially on this first part of Nevada. Now you will see the Chiron start to creep up all throughout the races as we get some of the longer tunnel sections and then the bridge section too. But right now you can see that the SF90 and the Battista are very comfortably in first place, but it might not stay that way for long. You see, those cars are really great for getting ahead at the beginning of races and just very good on the more twisty tracks. Like I assume they would be extremely good on, for example, Auckland. But right about now is when the Chirons start being able to get up to their high top speed and then passing everybody like crazy. Also helping the Chirons is the fact that Nevada has some of the longest 90-second variants of any track in the game. When editing my videos, the Nevada clips are always just that little bit longer. So both Chirons managed to get slightly ahead. Asphalt 89 passes one, and then unfortunately it passes him again right before the finish line, coming in not more than a car's length behind him though. Super close race overall, with all the top 4 players being within a second of each other's times. And now we're on to our final race, which is on Scotland, and this time around we've got a Bugatti Chiron as well as an Aston Martin Valhalla to contend with. Now it is time for me to give my general review about this car. In all aspects, it's a very well-rounded car. All of its stats are pretty good for its class, and I would say that it should be pretty reliable as well. Nothing about it is a giant detriment. That being said, it is not really an essential car to have. Obviously, it's not a king, and if you have the Zenvo, you can pretty much do just as well as the Inferno. I would consider the Zenvo to be like the poor man's Inferno slash Mazzanti slash all of those cars. Not saying, of course, that the Zenvo is easy to get, but it is probably more accessible than a lot of these cars that have very difficult special events, because as you play multiplayer more and more, get to higher leagues and higher positions in it, you get a lot of Zenvo blueprints and some Fenner blueprints sometimes too. If you would like to see how the TS1 performs at max in multiplayer, I do have a video up about that I uploaded not too long ago. Now, Asphalt 89 has a battle with the Chiron toward the end and is able to take the victory. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to Asphalt 89 for these races. Please give the video a like if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!